Welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be discussing the best early war warden vehicles and how/why you use them. We will go over the meta and when each vehicle becomes obsolete, as well as how to learn your vehicle's role in competing with enemy infantry and, most importantly, enemy armor. Today's video will showcase 3 tiers of technology trees with 4 vehicles of focus: the O'Brien V110, the O'Brien Freeman, and the Niska half-track, as well as its Twin Scar variant. So, let's get started. Tier 1. The first fighting vehicle in the war is the O'Brien V110. This car is relevant all the way up to half-track unlock, as its 25 armet cost makes it cheap and effective for dive operations. Before we get into its role in dominating in anti-infantry duties, we need to discuss tank fights. In early war, the Colonial legions will deploy 3 different types of vehicles. I'll rank each and how you should approach them when manning the O'Brien V110. The first is the T3 Xiphos, a 7.92mm MG armored car. Hooked with a dual 7.92, it is just like the O'Brien. On paper, it should be a 60-40 chance with the O'Brien taking the win 60% of the time. However, you should be cautious as the health is near identical for both vehicles. Unless you can get infantry or another vehicle's support, do not push this car alone, because in practice, it's usually a 50-50 win rate for both vehicles. Second is the T5 Percutio, a 20mm AT car. Though it has a slow rate of fire, 20mm is deadly to armored cars. While it will not suppress you, the 7.92 twin barrel cannon cannot win against a 20mm rifle. While the Wardens have no equivalent, the turret gunner is exposed, and the gun is slow to move with limited turning. On screen, you can see both the slow traverse speed and the instability that drops off quickly when auto-firing the rifle. The vehicle has no anti-infantry capabilities, which means you can beat this vehicle by attacking it from the side or having infantry assist in a rush on the gunner. Battle results often show that a quick spur-of-the-moment weakness on the enemy's part or mistake can allow you to push to kill, but you should not try to engage this in a one-on-one. You will lose. Third, the Gemini. Avoid this vehicle at all costs and do not engage in one-on-ones. The Gemini has a 12 capacity dual RPG welded launcher, allowing it to quick fire 2 rockets in succession, which can disable even a Kingspire in 2 side shots. The Wardens have 0 equivalent, and as you can see from the on-screen footage, you should not engage this vehicle head-on, even with a group of armored cars. Until the Freeman is unlocked, the Gemini will rule the battlefield unless 20mm push guns are involved to counteract it. Unfortunately, this Leviathan outmatches all early war warden vehicles. So, what does it do well? The O'Brien V110 has one upgrade that makes it superior to the regular Colonial AC. Highlander upgrade gives it an additional 100 health, meaning it can probably take 1 more Mammon before being disabled. And it now has tracks. The Highlander can go off-road and control trench lines, as well as cripple infantry pushes in the first 5 days of the war. In early war, this AC is basically like a late war tank. Every single move is dependent upon it. You could go on kill streaks of over 100 quite easily, as there are no machine guns to fight back and no infantry guns that can harm you. Mammons are the only early war solution and will do a lot of damage. These little HE sticks can quickly disable your tank and leave you dead within seconds, so try to medium/max range your MGs. In short, you'll never have more fun than when the first ACs are unlocked, and there's nothing infantry can do to kill you besides Mammon rushes. If you're a new player, start here to learn tanking basics. Tier 2. We now move on to our next best vehicle, the O'Brien Freeman. The Freeman is the solution to the Gemini. At Tier 2, this heavy AC is fitted with a 40mm cannon, inspired by the British World War I Rolls-Royce anti-infantry armored car, which means it has a steep learning curve. The Freeman must be operated facing backwards due to its 40-meter range only being effective from behind. While it can still be evenly matched by the Gemini's twin launcher, the 40mm range and travel delay time of the RPGs allows for the Freeman to quick fire its 40mm and retreat before being hit by the Gemini's rockets. This vehicle is also a phenomenal PvE solution, and really is the only way Wardens can advance with infantry against the new Update 61 building changes. However, firing any projectile at AT garrison pieces will get you disabled in 2 shots and killed in 3. This means pillboxes, MG garrisons, and rifle garrisons, regardless of tier 1 or tier 2, are free game. Once naves are unlocked, the Freeman upgrade will rule the battlefield, and this will be the official start of tank lines. In groups of 3, firing in succession can kill a Gemini or any other armored car on the front line, which makes it a powerful tool when used in squads. This HAC, however, is incredibly vulnerable to infantry and sticky grenades, which will be unlocked with this tech tier, making sticky rushes a real threat and pain to deal with. Only use this vehicle with infantry on both sides of you, and always go for max range shots on any vehicle or structure. With 25 inventory slots of 40mm, you can really change the tide of a battle, but can also be easily disabled even with its 1500 health. Perhaps an equally dangerous threat is the T5 Percutio, as the 20mm AC can now suppress your accuracy, making it near impossible to fire on enemy vehicles, even at far range. You should target Percutios first, and then Geminis if possible. Tier 3. Armored car fun ends here. Tankettes and half-tracks have now been unlocked at Tier 3 about 1 to 1.5 weeks into the war. The Colonial Legions now have access to the T20 30mm tankette, boasting a substantial 7,200 armor and 1,300 health. Additionally, the infamous Infantry Stationary Gun, or ISG, will outrange and outperform any and all Warden equipment. This period for Wardens is arguably the most difficult and frustrating period of the war, where enormous amounts of land can be lost quickly to PvE and PvP. At this point, all O'Brien variants are no longer viable. Tier 3 unlocks several vehicles, however, for the Wardens: the King Spire, the King Gallant, and the Niska half-track. However, the King Spire and Gallant are not worth investing in. Let me explain. The King Spire, while being nimble and acting as a mobile watchtower through its welded recon equipment, is a terrible anti-infantry tank. This really all comes down to bloom, but what is bloom? Bloom is the effect you see here. As we begin to fire, you can see the stability and accuracy of the 12.7mm gun quickly drop off and become nearly unusable. Some say, you can't hit the broadside of a barn with this damn thing. And they'd be right. While it is partially useful for anti-logi duties on trucks, it is hopelessly inadequate against infantry. The King Gallant is a 30mm scout tank, equipped with the best armor of the tankette category and boasts stats equal to the T20, but its 30mm range is only 35 meters. Unfortunately, we run into a critical issue where the ISG outranges the Gallant in every engagement, allowing half-tracks to perform hit-and-run tactics on the slow tank before it can even get a shot off. While many Wardens like to use this tank, more and more have come to realize it simply cannot compete. So, what is the solution? Enter the Niska half-track. To properly compete with Colonial ISGs, you must steal an ISG and equip this item yourself. The half-track is superior to the King Gallant in every way. It boasts more health, it can shoot further, it can move faster, as well as equip a variety of weapons that give it anti-infantry capabilities and anti-armor weaponry. This problem of requiring a stolen weapon is essentially an issue of the asymmetrical game design, but you just have to roll with it. Equipping an ISG, as you can see in the footage before you, allows for an equal playing field against enemy half-tracks, and now you can fight back. Arguably, the only vehicle that can counter Colonial ISG half-tracks is the Warden ISG half-track. 30mm is cheap, and it's worth traversing several hexes to make sure at least one ISG is available in every hex to counter Colonial half-tracks. In a realistic and logical view, this is non-negotiable. Now, what about anti-infantry? My favorite and the solution to the King Spire problem is the Niska Scar Twin. A dual 7.92 mg wielding half-track, the Niska Scar Twin boasts 3 inventory slots and can tow push guns or fuel containers. While 7.92 does not deal as much damage as 12.7mm, the Twin Scar has several advantages to the King Spire. For one, the guns are incredibly accurate and are economically incredibly cheap to keep stocked. Wasting ammunition on suppression capabilities is perhaps the cheapest use of 7.92 in the game. Secondly, the 2 weapons allow for 2 gunners to shoot multiple targets and host a wider field of vision compared to the King Spire or Ratcheter half-track. As seen in this footage, push guns that are disabled or decrewed can be towed off the battlefield by the Niska Scar Twin, and extra B-mats or fuel can be easily stored in its inventory to assist other disabled vehicles. What the Niska Scar Twin does well is it serves as a support vehicle to other vehicles and infantry alike, making it one of, if not the best and most underused Warden vehicles in the game in terms of the support vehicle category. The all-around improvements from the Niska allow for the phrase, "half-tracks are king," to prove itself during this early war period. And in a nutshell, that is a breakdown of early war armored vehicles. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of this list, and if you'd like to see an expansion on any vehicles past early war tech. I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the Foxhole front.